Hi, this is Jeff with Parking Alert Signs. This video is a second part of a series for the PSC6 Traffic Control Board. If you haven't watched video 1, which is the About the Board video that tells about applications and basic usage, then please watch that first, and then this video will make much more sense for you. Okay, I'm freehanding this camera right now because I have a practical setup. And I want to be able to switch between the board and the practical setup here. Okay, so if you watched that first video, you're familiar with this already. We have our power supply bringing in 12 volts DC, has an AC connection here. And our AC connection should be anywhere between 90 to 200 volts AC. If you have a different need for that, if you have 277 volts AC, just let us know. We'll put in a different power supply that will bring 12 volts DC to the board. The control board itself has 8 outputs for 4 traffic lights or whatever signage you're using. It has 4 inputs and it has 4 test buttons for each input. Has a programming interface, and that's what we're really going to be talking about today. And then it has an on-off switch. So if I turn off the off switch here, you'll see that the lights have gone off, but the motion detectors are still working. That's because 12 volts is still being applied to the sensors. So if you need to cut power to the sensors, you do need to go back to your AC, or you pull off the 12 volts DC wire there. Okay, I just turned off AC power. Now I'm going to turn on AC power, and you're going to see those motion detectors starting up again. But you won't see the lights turning on yet until I turn on that switch there. It'll say pass, and our lights are back up. Okay, so I'm going to turn that back on again because I want you to notice this green light flashing and the word pass on here. That will tell you that the microcontroller is working on this board. Okay, so if you watched the last video, hopefully, you'll know that each output is a 12 volt 1 amp output rated up to 1 amps. If you're using red-green lights like this, I recommend this wiring scheme because it makes it very easy. Use red-black for your red light, green-white for your green light, and at the device, you can see here, red-black for my red light and green-white for my green light. It's very straightforward, makes life easy. For my inputs, I'm going to have our trigger wires coming from each input, usually the normally open output of the device, and I'm going to have the power land here. Let's go into programming a little bit. The best way to get into programming is just to hold down Enter Next. And that's going to put you into P001. There is 15 different P levels in programming. It's pretty easy once you learn how to do it. P001 through P004 is the timing. How long do I want that input to activate the system? So right now, let's go into P001. I'm just going to hit Enter. Right now it's set up for 15 seconds. I'm going to back that down to 5 seconds. Then I'm going to hit Enter. It's going to save. I'm going to exit programming by hitting the reset button right here. Lights are all going to go off. There you go. All right, so now if I activate this sensor, this light here is going to go for 5 seconds. and then switch back. Easy enough. So if you have a 4-story ramp system, you can set these to go off for 5 seconds, maybe for floor 1, or maybe 10 seconds. 15 seconds for floor 2, 20 seconds, 25 seconds for 4th floor. All right, very easy, lots of customization here. So let's go back into programming here. Okay, so we covered P001, P002, which is the second, third, P003 is the third, P004 is the fourth light. Now is P005. I'm going to hit enter here. Now this says on. So what that means is I'm going to go ahead and exit programming. This means that, hey, if there is a second vehicle detected going in the same direction, I'm going to go ahead and keep that same direction going before allowing cross traffic to happen. So I activate this system. I think this is still set up for 15 seconds. I try to activate this one, but I activate this one again. That one's going to stay on for 30 seconds now, and that one will come on after the 30 seconds. In fact, it could stay on for longer than 30 seconds if you continue to get cars through there. So it's a choice you have to make if you're going to turn that system on or off. If you want to say, hey, after 15 seconds, no matter what, just let the next cars through, then that choice is up to you. But typically, default, that comes in the on position. Okay, let's get back into programming here. Pressing enter next again. Now I'm going to go up to P006. Now typically you won't use this. This tells you, are these inputs activated on a closure or are they activated on an open? 90% of the time you're going to use a device that activates on a closure, like loop detectors or motion detectors. So typically you don't have to worry about that. Okay, I'm going to hit enter to escape out of there. Now, P007 through P014 are all the same. You just have to realize which output you're controlling. This is the selection. Hey, do I want my output to flash or do I want it to be constant on when it activates? Okay, so if you look at your system, we know this is output 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. Okay, so this is also P007, 08, 09, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Okay, so now we can go in and I'll say, let's turn 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's turn 10 to a flashing and 11 to a flashing. It's up to you, but let's go back into programming because it's timed out after 10 seconds. Okay, so it starts on 7, which is a little bit oddball, but 7 is output 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to hit enter, and now it says constant right here. I'm going to just change that to flash. Hit enter. It's a save. Now I'm going to go to 11, and I want to change that to flash. And now it's saved. I'm going to hit passed, and now when this comes up, this one should be flashing. And when I activate this sign, the green should flash for us. It's really straightforward programming. Now, there's only one programming step that you got to do last, and that is mode programming. And that's P015. Of course. This is good video, huh? Watching me go through this. All right, let's go into enter here. This is 000. Now we have the all reds operation, which hopefully you learned from the first video. And now I'm going to change that to an all greens by just changing this to 1. Hit enter. Escape. And then there's our greens. And because that one was set up as a flash still, it's flashing. The big advice I have for you is this. When you wire up the system, wire a single traffic light up first. Use your test buttons. Make sure that you have a complete understanding of how that works. Then wire up each one at a time. Don't try to wire the whole board at one time because you're going to run into issues. You know, same thing with your motion detectors. Hey, wire up one at a time. Make sure that they activate first before you go connecting up everything. The last thing I want to show you is defaulting the board. If everything goes wrong, you come in here and you hold down the up and the down for 10 seconds. I'm going to show you all the way through. And you'll see that reset there. Now, if I come back up here, you'll see that, hey, all these lights are green. That one stopped flashing. I go back into programming. Remember where we changed that P001 to 5 seconds? I hit enter, and now it's back to the default of 15 seconds. And that's it, guys. Go low and slow. Call me if you have any questions. I'm always available. Even on weekends, if you got a big question and you need help, let me know. Thanks. Jeff.